Chair reviews, take one. Welcome to the chair reviews. I may be changing the name. Welcome to film reviews with me, the chair. Your favourite chair, the only one that you know. So by default, I'm your favourite. Greetings, my friends. Greetings, and just sit back and wait for some film reviews. Not many, trust me. Don't worry, this won't go on too long. Yeah. Let's just go right into it. Why am I wearing these? Because first up on this week's edition is a little revision of a review. So I think it was it last week? No, it was a couple of weeks ago that I saw Mad Max Fury Road, and I saw it with a pair of these mothers on. And I liked it, but I had to ramp it up because of the fact I went from 1 Thrones to 2 Thrones. I ramped it up because I didn't like these. There are a couple of people annoying me as well. I went to see it again. I was debating whether to see it again, but I really did have a hankering to see it in 2D. And I went, and that... I'm so glad I did. These things are shit. I hate them. They ruin stuff that's good. That's them gone. I was going to smash them up. I'm going to have to pay for a new pair. I've bought enough stuff already. Yeah, I went to see it again. This time in a packed cinema. Really packed. I had to find a seat on the edge of the apocalypse to watch it. And it was just fantastic. It was bloody fantastic. Oh, the vision, the screen was so much better. The view of these people, the kind of jittery motion that I didn't like so much was not anywhere near as bad without the blur of the fuckers. It was just tremendous. I say again, the action is the best I've ever seen filmed, and the best that anyone's ever seen filmed. It gets no better than that. The camp is still there. Oh, it's just wild. But it's just a revised review because it is a 3-throne masterpiece. It is an absolute... It's got every chance that it's the best one. Better than number 1 and 2. It's up to 3. It's up to 3 thrones. That's the 5th of the year. That's 1 for each month. So I think we're in good standing. I think the rest of the year has been disappointing so far, I must say. But at least we've got 5 3-throners now. We are counting Ex Machina, Birdman, Whiplash, Cinderella, which I just loved, and this, and Mad Max Fury Road. I think Mad Max is going to be very near to the top of that list. But that's that over with. What else did I see? I saw in Poxy 3D San Andreas, didn't I? I saw San Andreas. This is the big release this week, starring The Rock and Carlo Gugino. Hey! Huh. And a big boob daughter. A really big boob daughter. And it's about an earthquake. It's a disaster flick. Now, I've heard The Rock on a few interviews, saw him on Grand Norton. And he has been talking about Irwin Allen. You know, that's the Irwin Allen made the Towering Inferno. I think he went on to make The Swarm. Lots of disaster movies. Towering Inferno is the biggest one, I think. He might have done the Poseidon Adventure. Yeah. So this is kind of a remake of Earthquake, or well, it's got an earthquake in it. That's the returning cast member is a massive earthquake. And yes, and it's about the biggest earthquake that's ever hit the Earth, and it happens in California. Obviously, it does. That's where stuff happens. The Rock. Yeah, sorry, a bit of character, and I use the word advisedly. The Rock is a first responder, fire guy, a helicopter pilot, who was in Afghanistan, and now he's back here, and he's just doing his job. He's just doing his job, man. I go where they tell me to go. He's that kind of character. He's split up with his wife. He loves his daughter, and they lost the daughter a long time ago in an accident. There you've got all your stuff. Paul Giamatti plays a scientist. And then the earthquake happens. Paul Giamatti tells you why it happens. And let's just go on to the review now. And it's 2 reviews. Okay, let's do the first review. You get 2 reviews. You've got 2 reviews of Mad Max now. And you've got 2 reviews of the... Let me take these off now. Let me just put them up there. You get 2 reviews of San Andreas. So the first review is exciting, special effects, shaking buildings, some of it a little bit, I mean, some very weightless CGI at the beginning with a car crash. Oh, the most ridiculous car crash. It's not a spoiler, it's in the first 2 minutes. Oh, it would be a slight spoiler, yeah. Well, let me just say that there's a weak bit of CGI and a car crashes and it's just laugh out loud, funnily bad. But where was I? Oh yeah, the rest of the CGI. I mean, a lot of destruction here. A lot of people die. Not enough of them personally for me. I think there are very few characters in this film. I keep using the word characters. I'm going to tell you why it's regrettable in a minute. Ooh, pardon me. That's just awful, isn't it? So, yeah, but there's lots of death. There's destruction probably like you've never seen, or maybe you have seen it. In 2012, the Roland Emmerich film, and The Day After Tomorrow, the Roland Emmerich film, and any number of destructive films by Roland Emmerich, essentially, because that's what this is. Some of the CG is very cartoonish, very obviously CG. I mean, it's obviously CG. San Francisco hitting a deck. And it hits the deck in a big way, you know, the whole city is destroyed. You wouldn't know it from the characters' faces, really. There's a lot of screaming in the streets. There's virtually... And the whole film is quite serious. Oh, let me just review that. Oh, yeah, here we are. Here we are. You bastard. That is it. That's the review. Some exciting stuff. When they go on the wave, exciting. Yeah, just some of it's pretty damn exciting. And some decent CG. I'm going to give it a throne for that film. For that San Andreas film. And that is without any people in it, though, except for the crowd dying and stuff like that. With no people. So forget those cast members I said. It's a throne for that film. Alright, let's get on to the people film. Around the destruction is The Rock, and the daughter has gone missing. He's split up with his wife, and she's about to move in with somebody else, who's played by Ian Grufford, who's got so much makeup on, that if a tanker smashed him in the face, he'd just go... Something hit me. They've all got so much makeup on, and all the makeup stays on through the whole film. Tons of makeup though. They look like pantomime people, like Widow Twanky. So yeah, and that's the. So the earthquake hits, and the Rock is a helicopter man, and he's out to save people. Instead of saving people, he just fucks off and tries to save his wife. No one else. Then once he's got his wife, he says, we're going to save our daughter. He doesn't help anyone else, doesn't try to help anyone else along the way. It's a massive dereliction of duty, and it's actually a bit of a disgrace. He steals this helicopter and flies to San Francisco, because they were in Los Angeles, to San Francisco to get his daughter. His daughter, the big boob daughter, is incredibly industrious, incredibly resourceful, sorry, is what I meant to say. She meets some English guy who's a crap. And they're trying to figure out a way for their dad to find them. It's so bad. Oh yeah, that's it. That's the thing about the characters. I've heard The Rock on several shows, and he's going, oh yeah, the thing is, what we needed to do was, we had the big special effects, what we needed to get to was these characters, and if you feel for the characters, you know, if you're really in with them, then we know we've got a hit, and I think we did it. Now, The Rock's a charming guy. He's a very nice guy. He's also a massive chump, and he's a shit actor. He's really, really bad. These characters are not characters. They are paper thin, the most cliched bilge characters I've ever seen, ever. The stuff in Roland Emmerich film, these people look layered. These people look like they're from Bergman films compared to The Rock and Carla Gugino and the big boobed daughter. They're awful. They're so cliche. We lost a daughter. I just didn't know how to let you in. It's indescribably bad. Laughably so at times, but mostly when you've just hit some peaks of some good deaths and stuff, it's mostly just a disappointment that these characters are just not particularly characters at all. They're just awful. The odds of him finding his daughter, they're 460 million to 1. Guess what, though? Yeah, I can't do character spoilers because this thing is written out from the moment it starts. It's indescribably bad. All the scenes with any humans that aren't people going ah and dying. It's indescribably bad. What else? Yeah. Not much else really. I've done the makeup. I've done the big boob daughter. Did I mention her? She's pretty good, actually. Actually, the bits with her and the English guy, where they're trying to find a way out of town, are at least credible to a degree. They're actually the best bits. He's got a little brother, the English guy, who's actually from The Impossible, I read, which is a disaster film. I mean, that's how you make a disaster film, really. Watch The Impossible. Very, very good. Yeah, and he's quite funny, and there are some moments of charm, but any time the parents are on, any time The Rock is on in Carlo Gugino, it's bad. It's bad. That's all we have to say about that. So the review of that film is 2 stalls. A pile of shit. What do we get to? We've got a throne and 2 stalls. I mean, it's a bad film in a way. It's a bad film, but there are some excitement. Let's say low chair. No babies here. I mean, really, it is a 2-film experience. One half of it's so bad. One half of it pretty exciting. You've seen a lot of this stuff before, but it can't help but be exciting. Destruction on a big scale. The final review is a low chair. No babies, but, or should I say, no babies. But that's where it will end up. But choose, if you're not interested in special effects, it's definitely a 2-staller. And now I'll get rid of these bastards because the 3D's not even that good. There was one thing I wanted to say about the 3D. The best thing about 3D is at the beginning when they show you that real 3D thing, and it is right in front of your face, and you think, wow, this is going to be amazing. And then it's never like that at all. It's never ever like that. It makes bad stuff the same, it makes good stuff bad. So no more of this rubbish. I can't be asked to throw things. Let's go on to the final film this evening. It's not a long one, because I've got no classics to show you, because I haven't watched anything that I think is worthy of mention. So the final one is, let's come down a bit, is called... Oh yeah, sorry, that's what I wanted to say. Just quickly, the San Andreas is directed by a guy called Brad Peyton. He directed Mysterious Island, Journey to Mysterious Island. It's the kind of special effects, just run-of-the-mill director with just no skill whatsoever. Aside from being able to marshal a special effects department, just no skill whatsoever. About a journeyman. Let's stop him making films. So, thanks for watching. But stay tuned, because now I'm going to review Thanks for Watching, hooray! Which is a film by Stuart Bloomberg, who I don't know anything about other than his name. Oh yes I do, he directed The Kids Are Alright. Sorry, excuse me. He directed The Kids Are Alright, and now with Mark Ruffalo, and now he's got Mark Ruffalo back, who is one of a bunch of sex addicts, including Tim Robbins, and a guy who might be Josh Gad. I'm not sure, I didn't look up his name. Sorry, apologies. And it also stars Gwyneth Paltrow. And Gwyneth Paltrow is not a sex addict. The guys are, and Pink is also a sex addict. And yeah, they're all in therapy group, trying to sort out their lives. The young guy's a big fat guy who's a bit of a pest, and he gets sacked. He's always getting into trouble because he's wanking all the time and rubbing himself up against people on the tube. Mark Ruffalo's been clean for 5 years, which means he hasn't even had a wank, which is just weird. Come on. And Tim Robbins is married, and he was a booze and a sex man, sexy man. They're all trying to quit, and they're all in this group. And it starts off and it's quite light-hearted, and you meet these people, and you like them. Mark Ruffalo's one of the most likeable people on earth. He's fantastic. I'll watch anything with him, and he's really, really good. Tim Robbins is fine, and this other guy's okay. But they get into scrapes, and it's quite funny. And then you are dealing with an addiction, and they are trying to treat it quite seriously. And you get what happens with this film, and the problem with it is you get this intermix of this light-hearted, very glossily film. This thing is in New York, and it looks like New Year's Eve or something, one of those glossy rom-coms. But it's income events that are so heavy-handed that you're just blasted out of the water, and not in that way that's well judged. You're just going, it's jarring, it feels really awkward, and it upsets the balance of the whole film. And they're still trying to work in a few funny things, but things get more heavy-handed, and it's unsettling, and it doesn't work together. I was thinking of a film that does things really well, and that is About Time, directed by Richard Curtis last year, or 2 years ago, I think. That has a couple of serious scenes, but they're really well handled, and I think it's a hard thing to do. So I don't criticise the director too much, but it is a hard thing to judge, to mix these two elements, the kind of rom-com, but very, very serious elements to it. It's quite likeable. Those scenes jar to an extent that it does kind of upset the movie. In the end, that was the other thing. I said Mark Ruffalo's one of the most likeable people. Gwyneth Paltrow is not. I remember when she came into the scene in Seven, and everyone was blown away, and I certainly was. She is a whiny, rubbish screen presence these days, isn't she? There's something about her big, gawky grin that's just quite annoying. And she's annoying in this. She's rubbish. It is a high chair. You can feed your baby in it. You can feed your baby, but don't feed them. Oh, it's bouncy. But don't feed the baby. No classics. I did have one. It's too late now. Too late now. That's going to be the end of the show. It's a little short show. I hope you liked it. Please watch. There's one before that nobody's watched, because I didn't put it up anywhere particularly. But go ahead, watch that one too. I get a bit sweary and punch something. Hey, what's not funny about that? Alright then guys, see you later. Bye 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 bye.